Alright, hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Old English. Unfortunately, this episode is brought to you by Oklahoma Old English. At any rate, it's not the point of this video. The point of this video is... So my trusty blade here, and I guess we'll go ahead and open this up. So I'm opening this up, little preface here. I've had a lot of musical instruments in my life. Saxophone, a Hammond organ, piano, guitar, bass, Moog synthesizer, Korg synthesizers, Yamaha synthesizers. I've had all kinds of different things. I've never once ever owned a brand new musical instrument. And I've never once ever owned a brand new Moog instrument. So I said, I want to change that. I want to change that immediately. So back in July, I just started saving up every little penny I could so I could get that. Wow. So here we go, folks. The Moog Sub Phatty. There we go. So you're probably wondering why I wanted to have a brand new Moog so bad. Well, number one, Moog Music is an employee-owned company located in Asheville, North Carolina, as it says on the box. All their products are handmade in America. All the metal is made in St. Louis. The wood is all made in, I believe, South Carolina or Georgia. And the synthesizers and everything is assembled in Asheville, North Carolina at the factory. So I've always wanted to be a part of that storied past. So I finally am. I was able to put money in the pockets of hardworking Americans. So forgive me if this camera angle gets obstructed at times. That's why I've got this camera angle here to try to get what's going on elsewhere. Holy cow. Okay, that's not going to work. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. So here is the instruction manual. Right there. That's the instructions. Here is the power cord. Just your basic, it's a basic PC power cord. Good to know in case it goes out. I have plenty of replacements. Good grief, this thing has some heft to it. There we go. Out of here, box. Wow. I was not prepared for the heft involved in this. Oh my gosh. Now, in 2001, all the family banded together, put money together, and got me a Moog Rogue.
Keith, did you open yours from Judy? Mm-hmm. What was it?
I got...
I think you need to get that big package out and give it to John.
I think so.
Hey, doesn't it say John on it?
Two keys from...
Fooled big
That's the
time.
wrong one. Did you want to get the one from John?
Fooled big time.
No, that's not the wrong one.
So does that mean that all the other ones that say to Keith are not...
Keith's?
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get this sucker.
Like that.
Here. No, I got it. It's okay.
I got 2 checks for birthday and
That's
Christmas.
okay, I got it.
Birthday and
I'm gonna cut my
Christmas. 2 checks.
the old holes and
You gotta open your
White bulls. These go on your pack.
Oh, that's them?
Don't you dump that.
I'm in the 40s.
There's not there. Oh! Oh! John's gonna kill him.
No, you gotta pick them all up.
He'll be up till 4 in the morning cleaning peanuts.
I just think that top underneath there. I just like that gray and the black. I know you do.
Thank you, everybody, for all this stuff that I got.
You're welcome.
Dude, Keith, you're the man.
You can't play with any of it until you pick up all the
Starfire 59. My favorite band in the world right there. Oh, now that's sick.
David, did you think to bring
All right, that looks beautiful for you.
that amp?
It's in the car.
I like to wear them with my sweaters too.
Dave's going to let you borrow his amp, but you've got to get the money to buy a bass amp, so you're going to have to find a job.
Bass amp.
It has to have a bass amp if you want it to sound right.
And it was great for what it does, but the problem is those old analog synthesizers to me are more or less made, out of the box as performance pieces. And unfortunately, I'm not a performer. And I tried several times to get it to work, to get it to suit my needs. And then I started reading about, recently, it was a couple of years ago, so it's not like yesterday. It was a few years ago I started reading about everything is coming with USB MIDI now. An old analog synthesizer does not have MIDI capability. You have to add MIDI mods to it. And then back in the day, when I first started getting into electronic music composition, you had to have a MIDI port on your computer, the 5 DIN pin, whatever, one of those things. You had to have those on the computer. And those were, at the time, obscenely priced. And I just couldn't afford it. So basically I used the Rogue for some recordings, but honestly, I just didn't tap its potential for what it was meant to do, because I wasn't doing what it was meant to do. It was, as I said, meant to be a performance synth, and I just do everything studio. That's just how I work. I decided, here all back, after great thought, great agony, I decided to go ahead and sell it and part ways with it and take that money and put it toward getting this. This here is a $900 synth. It's actually $1,000 from Moog directly. But we all know that street price is not the same as suggested manufacturer retail price. So you're always going to get a cut from the retailers. So I was able to put a great deal of that money toward this and save up some other money. So that's how I was able to wind up with this. I was not aware that everything was rubberized. It's kind of interesting. I wasn't aware of that. We have a mod wheel, it's rubberized. We have the pitch wheel, that's rubberized. So kind of going over, we have MIDI fine-tune pitch, glide rate. We have an entire panel for modulation. The Rogue did not have an entire panel for modulation. It had very basic modulation capabilities. We can change the source from sawtooth to square triangle to square to sawtooth to sample and hold, and wave amount, filter amount, pitch amount, LFO rate. What really excited me about this was with the Rogue, the oscillators were in unison. If I change the sound to one oscillator, it changes the other one. Of course, you can change the octave on that, and it'll, make it go off. But still, it was in unison. And triangle, saw, or sample and hold was in unison. What I like about this is it has a separate knob for the octave on oscillator 1, the octave on oscillator 2. Frequency, I can change that. I can change the waveform on oscillator 1 and the waveform on oscillator 2. So say for instance I want to have this at 4 foot at square, And then I want to have this at 16 foot at sawtooth. And then I can put the frequency at +1 to give oscillator 2 just a little bit higher frequency. Then I can put the mixer on oscillator 1 at 8, oscillator 2 at about 4, and that way it's going to give priority to oscillator 1. It'll be louder than oscillator 2. Oscillator 2 will be just underneath, but it'll add a kind of a bass body to the overall sound. So that's pretty cool. That was something that I could not do on the Rogue, and that drove me absolutely insane that I could not do that. And also on this one, it's basically a 2.5 oscillator because we have a sub oscillator that we can kick in. Another thing that really excited me about this is how it's laid out. We have oscillator, then mixer, and then filter. So there's a whole section just for the filter. And I realized the Rogue had that too, but it was very minimal. The biggest knob on this whole sucker is the filter cutoff. So we can do these really, pinpointed filter sweeps on that. And then it's also got the multi-drive, which the Rogue had an overdrive, which was pretty cool. But this has a multi-drive. And what also really excites me about this is the fact that it has a full-blown ADSR envelope and ADSR amplifier. I've been dying for full-blown ADSR. Rogue did not have that. This is so exciting because now I can add my own personal amount of attack, my own personal amount of decay, sustain, and release, which I believe Rogue only had attack, sustain, and release, or may have had decay, sustain, and release. It had 3, I'm thinking. It's been a while since I looked at it. And then the same with the amplifier too. And so overall, I'm really excited about this. Keyboard's really stiff. Hopefully that softens up a little bit, but. And then if we look on this side, it has the I/O. So we have USB MIDI, we have standard audio, we have power, and then we also have in-out and some other things like that. So that's pretty exciting too. So yeah, there is the Moog. Let me see what else is in here. Okay, I lied. There's an actual legit manual. That's pretty exciting. So there's a real legit manual. Smells like North Carolina. It's just so exciting to finally have. I was just really excited to just support the guys at Moog. I've been to the factory before. For those of you who don't know, I did tour the factory in 2006. I went in 2006. Tori, she actually lived, it was an hour away from where the factory was. So when I was visiting her one time, I was like, we're going to Moog. And she's like, okay, whatever. So we went, and that was, as I said, in 2006. I was at the beginning of 2006, I think like January or something like that. So that was right before they announced the Slim Phatty. They had prototypes of the Slim Phatty. And so I got to jam on a prototype. It wasn't even enclosed. It was just like, the metal part with the knobs and then a bunch of wires underneath it. So that was pretty cool to be able to jam on a prototype Slim Phatty. And I got to meet the new CEO. And I got to meet some of the guys who still work there today. If you watch the videos on YouTube, I got to meet Amos. We hung out with him for a bit, and he still is very active on their YouTube channel. So cool company. I'm just really excited to have a brand new Moog to be able to support them with my money to do that. So I guess with that, I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll probably do some demos later on. I don't want to do any demos right now. I just want to go to the bedroom and just kind of jam with it myself and get to know it. So thanks for watching, and peace out.